People of Jamaica. Today, I don't speak as someone chasing power, but as a soldier for truth. What I'm about to say might disturb you. It might even make you angry. But staying silent in the face of injustice is the same as betrayal. And I can't stay silent anymore about what just happened in our country. Last month, Andrew Holness stood before the people, smiling and waving, claiming victory in Jamaica's general election. On camera, it looked like democracy had spoken. To the outside world, it seemed the people had freely chosen their leader once again. But the truth doesn't always match the picture we see on TV. What I share today isn't rumor or speculation. It's based on real documents, reports, and testimonies that point to one painful truth. The people of Jamaica were robbed of a fair and honest election. Across several constituencies, voters showed up only to find their names missing from the voter list. This wasn't a random glitch. It was a repeated pattern. Thousands of citizens who had voted before were suddenly erased, cut off from their right to choose. And when voices are silenced at the gates of democracy, the election cannot be called free or fair. Then there's the money, flowing through communities right before the vote. Instead of empowering the poor, the system turned them into commodities. People were offered cash, food, and even jobs in exchange for their votes. These aren't whispers. These are verified stories from real people who watched their democracy being bought piece by piece. Ballot boxes were mishandled. Procedures meant to protect transparency were ignored. Election monitors who raised alarms were silenced or dismissed. The message was clear. The results had already been decided. What we saw was a ceremony, not a choice. So yes, the curtain of democracy was pulled back in Jamaica. Behind the speeches and celebrations, a quiet machine of manipulation worked to keep power exactly where it was. And this isn't just a Jamaican problem. It's a global one. Around the world, elections are being turned into performances. The actors change, the places change, but the script stays the same. Power protects itself, even if it means suffocating the will of the people. Andrew Holness may hold the title of Prime Minister, but a title earned through corruption isn't an honor. It's a stain. Leadership gained by manipulation cannot command respect or legitimacy. Yet he now parades his so-called victory before the world, expecting silence. But silence is not an option. Jamaica's history is one of courage. A nation born out of struggle, out of the fight against oppression. To betray that legacy now, to turn the people's voice into a bargaining chip for power, is to spit on everything our ancestors fought for. This election was not a reflection of the people's will. It was an operation, carefully planned to secure one man's grip on power. Polling agents were pressured, bribed, or pushed aside. Ballot boxes were moved without security. These aren't mistakes. They are deliberate actions, the kind that only happen when the system itself is compromised. And why such desperation for a third term? Because power, once tasted, becomes addictive. But this isn't only about one man. Behind every corrupt election stand powerful interests, businessmen, foreign investors, and outside forces who see in a weak or compromised leader an opportunity to serve their own agendas. So the election became a transaction between elites, while ordinary Jamaicans were left as spectators in their own democracy. When money buys votes, when fear replaces choice, and when outside powers decide outcomes, that's not democracy. That's theft, wrapped in the language of legitimacy. Some witnesses have described entire communities where intimidation ruled. People were warned. Vote for the ruling party or face consequences. What kind of democracy forces its citizens to vote out of fear? And yet, the world looks away. Observers issue polite reports, calling these crimes minor irregularities. But tell that to the man or woman whose voice was silenced. There is nothing minor about losing your right to choose your own future. This silence, from other nations, from global institutions, is not ignorance. It's complicity, because it serves their interest to keep certain leaders in power. We've seen it again and again, in Africa, Latin America, Asia. Elections that look free but are rigged behind the scenes. So let me ask, what kind of confidence is bought with money? What kind of confidence is forced with threats? What kind of confidence deletes names from the voter list? That's not confidence. It's coercion. And despite it all, many brave Jamaicans are speaking up. They've shared their stories online, risking backlash to tell the truth. How their names vanished, how envelopes of cash traded hands, how anyone who questioned it was silenced. Holness may have been declared the winner, but a victory built on corruption is hollow, a fragile crown resting on lies. And he knows it, because every leader who rises through deceit knows their throne is built on sand. Deep down, they know the tide of truth will one day wash it away. This is bigger than one election. It's about a system, a global pattern where money and foreign influence dictate who rules, while the people are reduced to pawns in someone else's game. If this continues unchecked, democracy itself becomes just a performance, staged for cameras, you empty of real meaning. Andrew Holness did not win through the true will of the Jamaican people. He won through manipulation, intimidation, and corruption. That's not democracy. That's a crime against it. Prosperity built on lies is no prosperity at all. Some ask me, why speak out? Because silence in moments like this is not neutrality. It's complicity. A leader who cheats his people has betrayed them, and betrayal must be named for what it is. Holness betrayed the trust of the Jamaican people. He didn't honor their voices. He controlled them. He didn't serve the nation. He used it to serve himself. That's not leadership. That's tyranny wearing the mask of democracy. And here's the greatest crime. The world rewards him anyway. He still shakes hands, gets praise, and signs deals. That tells other leaders one thing. You can cheat your people as long as you serve the right interests. That's why this must be said aloud. Because if Jamaica's fraud goes unchallenged, it sets a dangerous example for the rest of the world. That truth can be buried, that the people's voice can be erased without consequence. But no power built on lies lasts forever. Every stolen vote leaves a wound. And those wounds don't disappear. They grow. And one day, they will demand justice. Holness may control the story for now, but he cannot control the conscience of his people. He cannot erase what they know in their hearts. And when the truth rises, as it always does, history will remember him not as a leader, but as the man who cheated his nation. To the world, recognize this for what it is. To stay silent is to endorse fraud. To the people of Jamaica, your struggle is seen. Don't believe the lie that you're alone. Others stand with you. Don't give up your right to choose freely. Stand for your future. Stand for your democracy. And to the nations that claim to defend freedom, remember, silence is betrayal. The defense of democracy is a duty we all share. Jamaica's story isn't over. This is a test of its courage, its institutions, and its people. Painful truth is often the beginning of healing. And I believe the Jamaican people will rise again. Because no throne built on lies can stand forever. And no people who know the truth will stay silent forever.